What's up, guys? Welcome to the 3 random things I learned in Saas, sports, tech, and live events for Friday, July 31st, 2020. Number 1, the ladder leapers. You're going to get to know them if you're selling into the enterprise, either on the sports side or on the software side. And here's what a ladder leaper is. Many big companies have rotations where people move around jobs pretty regularly. Now, the ladder leapers can make that difficult for vendors that are on long-term deals because ladder leapers are focused on one thing. They are focused on short-term wins that get them to their next rotation. They don't really care about burnt land, burnt bridges, anything that happens on that end. So, what to do with a ladder leaper? Hold your line, trust what you're doing, know that you might even lose a customer with a ladder leaper here and there, but the reality is ladder leapers, the same way you view them, they're viewed internally. They don't realize this yet, but we've seen so many of them. They come and they go, and once they go, customer comes back, a lot of apologies for how you were treated because they were generally treating their team that way too. If you're a ladder leaper or you have ladder leapers at your company, please don't go that route. It never ends well, especially when they leave and they start looking for other things to do. There's just too many burnt bridges. So beware of the ladder leaper. And number 2, tied a little bit to the ladder leaper, lose graciously. We did it for too long. We give a few examples of it, but I'll give the best one. In 2012, we lost what would have been our biggest customer. We were done. Deal was done. We had won it. We'd been working on it for a year. We had everything we needed. We just signed the contract. A ladder leaper showed up, younger guy, 28 years old, looking to prove his worth, brought up a whole new RFP. We lost, and we should have lost. That's another 3 things. But we lost, and we didn't lose graciously. We called the bosses, we called around, we did a bunch of things we shouldn't have done, and we made it really difficult for them to come back to us, which thank goodness they did 2 years later, and they've been wonderful partners ever since. Guys, lose graciously. Walking out of the supermarket over here 4 years ago, a gentleman was opening up a new dry cleaner. I've been loyal to my dry cleaner for a long time. He asked me where I went, I pointed to it, he said, wonderful people doing wonderful things. He was gracious. A few years later, when mine closed down, guess where we went? We also took some business there in the meantime. And finally, 3rd, this is a really important one, especially for those of you in sales, on the sports side, the tech side, wherever else. How you treat executives is going to define your deal maker prowess, period. People who are scared of execs, people who are afraid to talk to somebody with a big title like they're a normal human being are going to struggle making deals, both internally and externally. Always go to the top, even if you have to ruffle feathers. I'll give you a story. 2010, we're calling into a very large company and we get a very high executive in Detroit. Guy tells us, got it all taken care of, we don't need your product. Then we get introduced to 6 different people in San Antonio and then Dallas, and they all tell us that they have this all set up, it's a system, it's a dead no. Right? They're not gonna buy our product. Didn't make sense to me, so I picked up the phone and called the CFO myself. A very high level guy was on charge of all these different people, and he had another co-CFO, and she was very powerful, and she was very understanding of what we were doing. They bought our product, they've been our customers for 10 years, and both of them are very dear friends to this day. Guys, don't be afraid to go to your executives with ideas, with introductions, and with calls. That's where the deals really happen. So that's all for this week. Everybody have a safe and happy weekend, and we'll see you in August.